when people think of Southern California, they picture sunshine, beaches, Hollywood dreams. It's a place so that's golden, full of promise, full of opportunities, but a little closer. And there's another story playing out in the shadows of that image, a story of communities left behind, pushed to margins and suffocating under weights of environmental inequalities. Nowhere is more visible or more painful than in Long Beach. This isn't just any city. Long Beach is the port city, a powerhouse of global commerce and move goods that fuel that American economies. Ships arrive across the Pacific, freight trains roll past homes, thousands of diesels, trucks snake through its every streets every day. On the surface, it's the engine of progress. And then the engine runs on the back and the lungs of working class neighborhoods, mostly blacks and Latinos and immigrant families that lived here for generations. In West Long Beach and North Long Beach, the air tells a different story, a dangerous one. This is where pollution doesn't just drift in, it parks itself. The port of the beach isn't the busiest planet, but brings within some of the highest level of air contamination in California. And people living closer to the port, they're paying for that success with their health. Kids growing up with asthma as a fact of life. Elderly residents face higher risks as their heart and respiratory disease. The cancer risk from breathing in air day in and day out is significantly above the state average. And if you trace that risk on a map, it's not random. It follows race and the income. That's not just bad luck. That's environmental racism. For decades, planning decisions, deliberate ones, have put industries right next to home, refineries beside schools, rail yards beside backyards, freeways cutting through parks. This is not an accident. It's a policy, and it's a systematic neglect that's been passed down from city councils, votes, zoning maps, and economic deals. And yet, despite all this, people are standing up. Organizations like East Yard Communities for Environmental Justice and along with the Long Beach Alliance for Children with Asthma are not waiting for change to come up top. They're in the streets, in the communities, in the hall, and from the landmarkers. Demanding cleaner air, zero emission, freight technology, and the public health protections that reflect on the urgency of the crisis, they're saying enough. Enough sacrifice zones, enough treating people like collateral damage for the sake of commerce. They're fighting for buffer zones between pollution and people, for investments of the greater infrastructure, and for policies that are actually serve on those front lines. And those progress seems as least the port has introduced a clean air action plan. Clean trucks, electric trucks are being piloted. Cargo equipment is going greener. A few schools have added air filtration systems to protect their students. But let's be clear, that's just smart. Because environmental justice isn't just about your future goal. It's about repair. And it's about acknowledging harm. It's about making sure that the next generation doesn't grow up breathing the toxic air because their zip code made them expandable. Justice, real justice, looks like clean air from every neighborhood, not just wealthy ones. It looks like development that includes the people who have been here all along. It means rewriting the rules that created this divide in the first place. Long Beach tells two stories at once. One's environmental damage and resistance, and one's happened to the place that decides not to be silent anymore. Environmental justice isn't luxury, it's a right. And in Long Beach, that fight is alive and far from over.